And the family of Sandy Hook victims reached a 73. You know, Sandy Hook. That's where the young man went on a rampage and killed all those 5 and 6 and 7-year-old kids back in Connecticut. About
that was 2002.
2012 maybe. Yeah. They killed 20 kids, 6 staff members. A total of 26 people were killed in Newton, Connecticut. So the gun that was used was an AR-15. You know, that's one of those, you know, one of those crazy, like, you know, what purpose does it serve?
Right.
And 26 people died. It was an AR-15 semi-automatic that was manufactured by a company called Remington Arms. Now, there was a lawsuit brought by the families of the victims, of all the, you know, the parents of these children, plus I guess the families of the 6 teachers and school aides who also died. And this has been going through the courts for a decade. And the problem with the lawsuit is there's a federal law that was signed during George Bush's era in 2005 that prohibits you from filing a lawsuit against a gun manufacturer if a gun is used in a crime. So it basically shielded all gun manufacturers from any liability for having their gun, which is a dangerous weapon, used in a crime. You know, because the cigarette companies, if you go back to cigarettes, for example, they got litigated to, you know, I use the word ironic, litigated to death because they killed a lot of people's cigarettes until eventually, you know, they paid out their victims, you know, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. So George Bush and the Republicans in 2005 said, we don't want gun manufacturers we don't want litigants and lawyers to do to the gun manufacturers what litigants and lawyers did to the cigarette companies for producing a dangerous product. So they said, guns are no longer a dangerous product. You can't sue them because there's a law, guns are not a dangerous product. But there was a loophole in the law. And the loophole, because there's smart lawyers out there, the loophole was that, not that the Remington, I'm calling it Remington Steel, that was a private investigator from television. Remington Arms. Not that Remington Arms sold a dangerous product, but the loophole was you can sue a company in state court, not in federal court, if they marketed the gun, the unsafe product, to be used in an unsafe manner.
Or how'd they do that?
So Remington guns, they were putting their guns in ads in video games. They were, you know, where people are rat-tat-tat-tang everybody. They had advertisements up that, you know, if you own this gun, you can now be a man. And their marketing was so reckless, was so extraordinarily reckless, and meant to convince young men and people who are mentally ill that they can be, you know, couch renegades. That was the actual term that was used by the judge, that these people are sitting on a couch and they want to be renegades now, and you're marketing them to say, yeah, you can go out there and kill everybody. That was basically what their advertising was. You know, look how quick these guns shoot off. And so eventually, after 10 years, 10 years in litigation, there was a $33 million settlement offered in July 2021, which was turned down. And eventually, now in 2012, right before the case was going to go to trial, they settled for 2022, excuse me. In February 2022, they're now settling for $73 million. So as part of it, it's not just money. It's not just money, by the way. As part of it, the settlement required the Remington Arms to provide all of their marketing material that they used as to show the world what they were doing. They were really trying to market this to people to say, look, you can go kill anybody you want with this thing. So in this particular case, Remington Arms gave out $73 million, and they're now in bankruptcy.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Good.
as a result of this. So there's laws now in California.
Wow.
There's laws pending in New York State that's going to allow litigants to sue gun manufacturers in those states too. So perhaps that in this particular instance, it's not going to be our elected officials who try to get guns under control, but it's going to be our lawyers and our personal injury attorneys who do it, because they're going eventually, you know, these gun manufacturers are going to say, listen, if we don't market these guns in a proper and ethical way, we're going to be out of business, just like Remington Arms.
Right.
You know, so people always say, you know, in law, oh, you ambulance chasers, you lawyers are a bunch of ambulance chasers. We got to stop them, limit the amount of money, you know, that litigants can make. But the reality is, tort law, which is negligence law, is there for a reason. And the reason that negligence law and tort law and things of this nature, where you get to sue gun manufacturers and take their money, is it's to force people to be reasonable in what they do. And it's to force people not to be negligent. It's to force people to act in a way that won't hurt other people. So when you have the threat of litigation and losing money, people will act differently.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Even in driving a car.
Yeah.
Right? So, or if you own a home, for example. Okay, just think about all the things that we do to make the world safer because we're scared we're going to get sued. That's the whole idea behind negligence law, is to force people to act safer. You know, let's go back to your apartment in Harlem. Okay, it snows. Somebody falls on your sidewalk. They're going to sue you.
They're going to sue you.
Guess
so
what? You're going to make sure it's salted and nobody's falling on it. Okay, so I mean, it's the same thing. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.